Why did the 13 colonies write the Constitution? After Europeans moved to America, the 13 colonies were formed. Years passed, and even though they were British citizens, they felt they were being abused and taxed unfairly by King George III. The king taxed them for his own benefit, so the colonies felt it was time for them to fend for themselves. So they made the Declaration of Independence. The king retaliated and sent troops out to fight against them. So the colonies created the Articles of Confederation, which was a very weak and unstructured document. They replaced the Articles with a stronger, more structured document called the Constitution. The Constitution had 6 main principles that the framers felt would protect our freedoms and prevent the government from getting too powerful. Popular sovereignty, limited government, checks and balances, separations of powers, federalism, and judicial review. And now, let's learn more about these principles.
Separation of powers is the duties of government divided into 3 branches. Why include this in the Constitution? To ensure that the branch didn't have too much power. Each branch was given a duty to ensure no branch will have more power over the other. You can see this in your everyday life with your U.S. Congress, who makes laws, your president, who enforces the laws, and your judges, who interprets the laws.
Limited government. The framers' solution or goal was to have a balanced government as well as protecting people's rights.
This was shown by allowing citizens to vote for what we want. In other words, the government can only have the power we give it, which is shown through the Constitution. The Constitution is like this fancy instruction manual, but instead of telling your dad how to put together a bunk bed, it tells the government how to run.
Along with the rules that the government must follow, they also have to follow ours. That's where the rule of law comes in at. The rule of law pretty much says that no one is above the law. For example, the president can't murder someone and gets away with it while your neighbor does the same and gets life.
Popular sovereignty. Popular sovereignty is a government where the power rests with the people, is made up of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Popular sovereignty was admitted into the Constitution so that citizens can exercise their sovereignty. And also, that was one of the main reasons they broke off from Britain in the first place, so they did that kind of in spite of them.
People can exercise their rights by voting. And by voting, we are consenting to whoever leads us. Conclusion.
Fact.
Federalism is the final principle in making the Constitution. The framers included this principle to divide the powers between the federal and state government. The Articles of Confederation was weak and they needed better structure in dividing power between the states and national government, therefore creating this principle. To this day, Americans debate whether which government should take control over certain issues. Examples could include healthcare and education.
What are checks and balances? Checks and balances is a system that allows each branch of a government to stop the actions of another branch so as to prevent any one branch from exerting too much power.
The Founding Fathers put checks and balances for the separation of powers. The 3 branches of government: legislative power is vested in the Congress, executive power is vested in the President, and judicial power is vested in the Supreme Court. For example, the executive branch can veto bills from the legislative branch, but the legislative branch can't override the veto.
How does judicial review help people to protect their rights?
Judicial review is the process of interpreting law through deciding whether a law is constitutional.
The framers included judicial review because they wanted a way for the judicial branch to check the legislative branch and keep them from having too much power.
An example of judicial review is the case Brown versus Board of Education.
It focuses on the desegregation of schools and how the interpretation of the 14th Amendment has changed.
The Brown took their case to the federal district because it was dangerous for them to school.
The school that was close to them was an all-white school. They felt that their 14th Amendment rights were being violated, and their case was taken to the Supreme Court.
It was decided that the law requiring equal schools violated the 14th Amendment, and because even though the schools were similar, they can never be equal to each other. And that's how judicial review allows us to interpret the Constitution in new ways as we move forward in society.
Thank you.